Hey, what is going on, guys? Lon here from Android Authority, and Lenovo is known for making some products that can be used in several different configurations to fit your needs. And today we're going to be taking a look at a tablet that does exactly that. This is the Lenovo Yoga Tablet 10 HD Plus. Starting with the design of the Yoga Tablet 10 HD Plus, for the most part, it pretty much looks like any other 10-inch tablet. It's mostly made of plastic, has relatively large bezels, but it's thin and lightweight at the same time. It comes in a silver and gold finish, and the back has a texture to it, giving the tablet grip and making it easy to keep clean, as it doesn't really attract fingerprints. When holding the tablet, it does feel pretty solid with the exception of the back, which has a very hollow feel to it, at least on my unit. You'll also notice that the weight distribution on this tablet is very uneven, but that's due to the metal barrel that serves as a kickstand, and all the buttons and ports live on or around the metal barrel. The power button and micro USB port is on the left, the 3.5mm headset jack and volume keys are on the right, and if you want to access your micro SD card, it's hidden by a plastic door that's hidden by the kickstand. The camera is also pretty awkwardly placed, sitting on the bottom right corner. Not really sure why Lenovo felt the need to put everything on the bottom end of the tablet, but that's what they did. Now, even though the kickstand makes this tablet very unevenly weighted and not quite so symmetrical, it's what makes the Yoga 10 unique. Usually you have to buy a case if you want to prop up your tablet, but with the Yoga 10's built-in kickstand, you can prop it up in a couple different angles, giving it a lot of utility, especially when consuming media. It is a little bit difficult to open up. You sort of have to roll it in order to get it to open, but I will admit I actually found the kickstand to be really useful, and I used it a lot more than I expected. As far as the speakers go, they're dual front-facing speakers, so they already get points for being on the front, because after all, front-facing speakers just make sense, especially on a tablet, but besides being on the front, they actually sound quite good as well. Taking a closer look at the display on the Yoga Tablet 10, it's a 10.1-inch display with a resolution of 1920 by 1200, so it's got a very respectable resolution and it's packing quite a few pixels, so graphics and text do look very sharp, viewing angles are good, and it gets plenty bright. Where this display falls short though is in the color calibration. The contrast ratio is way off. It's just a very warm and overly pink looking display. The colors look very unnatural, and it was especially noticeable when looking at people or anything with flesh colored tones to it. It seems almost as if they completely oversaturated the reds while undersaturating the greens and the blues. The internal specs are very mid-range, so it's not going to be a huge selling point for this tablet. It's being powered by a Snapdragon 400, the Adreno 305, and 2 gigs of RAM. The Snapdragon 400 has proven to perform very admirably, and it's no exception on the Yoga Tablet 10. It's pretty smooth for the most part, but I do notice some frames consistently getting dropped during some of the animations, and apps are sometimes slow to load, so it's not the fastest tablet I've ever used, but it's still more than usable. You can play games on it just fine, and some of the performance hiccups might be due to Lenovo's software more than the actual specs, so it's probably fixable, but at the end of the day, it gets the job done without causing too much trouble. When it comes to cameras on tablets, most of them usually aren't very good, and the Yoga Tablet 10 is no exception. It sounds decent coming in at 8 megapixels, and that's exactly what it is. Just decent. The camera UI is very simple and straightforward. There isn't too much going on with it, and you've got the usual settings like white balance, ISO, exposure, and other common camera modes like macro and panorama. The picture quality isn't going to blow you away, and you more than likely have a better camera on your phone already, but it's still good enough for posting to social networks. Given good enough lighting conditions, you can get some decent photos, but if you want to take some photos in low light, this is not the tablet you'll want to depend on, but I don't think many people are out there buying tablets for their low light camera performance anyways. One of the better aspects of the Yoga Tablet 10, and probably the most impressive, is its battery life. Inside, it's got a whopping 9,000 milliamp hour battery, so this should last you a long time whether it's on standby or being heavily used. And with my usage, which consists of mostly playing some games and watching YouTube, I was able to easily get over 8 hours of screen on time, which to me is pretty good for a tablet of this size. And I also noticed that this tablet idles extremely well, losing only between 1 to 2% overnight. So if you're a much lighter user, you don't really use your tablet all that much, you should be able to get several days out of it before having to recharge. And finally, onto the software, and the Yoga Tablet 10 was originally running on Android 4.3 Jelly Bean when I initially received it, but it has since been updated to KitKat, so it's great to see Lenovo keeping their products updated. On top of Android is Lenovo's custom skin, and it's not the heaviest skin out there, but it does have some quirks to it. The Lenovo launcher doesn't include an app drawer, so you'll have to resort to folders if you don't want your home screens to get cluttered up. And there's a few pre-installed apps from Lenovo, like the security app and the sound and visual app, that give you a persistent notification, making the notification shade look very cluttered, so it's a little bit annoying. The green and gray color scheme with cartoony looking icons isn't the prettiest thing either. Some of the notable features include Lenovo's Smart Bar that can be accessed by swiping from the left or right edge of the screen, giving you some recently opened applications, and the ability to adjust your sound and visual to the display's orientation on the fly. There's even a multi-window feature that lets you run up to 4 apps side by side if you really want to get some work done, and it seems to work with a decent selection of apps. Overall though, the skin feels clunky and seems to take more away from the Android experience than it adds to it. If you're looking to get one for yourself, it's available now for $350 directly from Lenovo. It comes in 2 colors, gold and silver. And if you're inside the United States, you're looking at Wi-Fi only, but there are some markets that have a 3G model available to them. But there you have it for the Lenovo Yoga Tablet 10 HD Plus. The built-in kickstand is what makes this tablet unique and gives it a little bit more versatility over the competition, but the subpar display, the mid-range specs, and Lenovo's clunky software is what really holds this tablet back, making it not as good as it should be. But that is it for this review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below, and also subscribe to the channel, which is also down below. And once you're done doing all of that, make sure to check out the website at androidauthority.com. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Keep it locked on Android Authority, as we are your source for all things Android.